Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the MJ Innocent podcast. I'm your host, Moonwalker Tanya. Now, the wildfires that are taking place in Los Angeles was something I was going to make in a video from my second channel. But then when I heard about this, that's when I was like, okay, moving it over to MJ channel. Okay, so first, before I begin, to anyone who is living in Los Angeles and trying to battle the fires, my thoughts and prayers are with you and your friends and family. I hope you've been able to evacuate and get somewhere safe. And I really hope that you haven't lost your homes and your personal items. I know a lot of people unfortunately have, and it's very sad. It really is. So I do know that one of my favorite actors, John Goodman, he lost his home to the fire. There were some other celebrities who also lost their homes, and a lot of people who are the average Joe, they've either lost their homes or their businesses, and it's very devastating. The authorities have been ordering an evacuation, and I've seen so many different videos of footage of the fires and people being stuck in traffic to the point that they had to abandon their car, and then the fire department basically had to bulldoze the cars in order to get through. So it was just a big mess. But then to make it worse, the fire department has actually been defunded from what I've heard. And I guess there's a water shortage. And so they really cannot get this fire under control, and it's just a nightmare, really. And the sad thing is, this is all happening on the West Coast. Now, on the East Coast, people are getting a lot of snow, and I personally wish that we could gather up the snow and transfer it over to Los Angeles, because with the water shortage, people on the East Coast, they got a lot of snow, and obviously it would turn to water by the time it would get to Los Angeles, but at least it could help, hopefully in some way, to get the fires under control. But seriously, defunding the fire department in California when they have wildfires every year, like, whose stupid idea was that? Gosh. And then to make it worse, there are some people online that are not showing empathy when it comes to this. They're like, oh, all these celebrities and rich people, they're losing their homes. Oh, they can rebuild. No big deal. Actually, first of all, not everyone in Los Angeles is rich. Okay, people need to get that delusion out of their heads right now. That's like saying everyone who lives in Vegas is rich, and that's not true either. Okay, same thing like if you live in New York, that doesn't mean you're rich. And plus, like I said, it's not just celebrities that are losing their homes. The average Joe, they're losing their homes and their businesses and their income. And there was even a video of an 80-year-old man who lost everything, and he was literally crying on camera, and he was like, but you know what? I'm still alive, so I'm gonna be okay. And I can't imagine, like, how devastating it is. So I heard from MJ Vibe, who is my source for this video, that the wildfire has claimed 35,000 acres of land, has destroyed many homes and businesses, and unfortunately has killed 11 people at this point. Now, there are some MJ fans who are concerned that the fire will reach Hayvenhurst. So this is a map of how the fire is spreading. Now, let me zoom in real quick here. I'm assuming that black dot there, I guess that's Hayvenhurst. I'm not sure. But that's what I think it is, but, So I'm hoping the fire does not spread up to that point. You know, it's unfortunate that it's been this out of control at this point, because this is like the largest wildfire in Los Angeles in this particular region. Yeah, so apparently the neighborhoods of Brentwood and Encino have been ordered to evacuate. And I mean, on a positive note though, like no one from the Jackson family has lived in Hayvenhurst for, I want to say, 13 to 14 years now. The house is really just used for charity on Thriller Night, or aka Thrillerween. Of course, Prince Jackson hasn't been able to do that the past couple of years because they filmed scenes for the biopic at Hayvenhurst. And obviously, we don't want Hayvenhurst to be destroyed. I think of the same thing about Neverland every year when California has these wildfires. But here's the thing, though. Losing, like, a historical property and other things like that, like, yes, it is devastating. But you have to remember, though, that if you still have your life, your health, friends, and family, then that is what is important. And I don't want anyone to be confused by that, because obviously I don't want Hayvenhurst to be destroyed. I don't know if the fire is spreading to that location. It does look like it's continuing to spread according to this map. MJ Vibes said that they would keep us updated as we find out more. According to MJ Vibe, the biggest concern that they have is that since the estate owns Hayvenhurst, they're hoping that there isn't any like personal memorabilia or anything like that in the house that could be destroyed in case of worst case scenario. But another fear that they have is that Michael has storage units in LA that has things like his cars, costumes, clothing, and other things like that obviously MJ fans would not want to be destroyed in the fire. But the public is not aware of where these storage units are. But I'm hoping, that maybe the estate or somebody maybe took action ahead of time. But let me make this very, very clear again, okay? Because at the end of the day, yes, they were Michael Jackson's stuff, but from what I've heard, his kids could have taken that stuff, and they didn't. I don't know why they didn't, but I don't want Michael's things to be destroyed. I don't want Hayvenhurst to be destroyed, but it's the same thing that I've said about the average Joe and the celebrities who have lost everything. So, let's keep everyone in Los Angeles in our thoughts and prayers. And I hope this fire can eventually be controlled. But it's going to be difficult because if it's very windy in California, obviously wind gives fire energy. And another reason why I wanted to make this video was because if you grew up watching Nickelodeon, you might remember a show called Avatar: The Last Airbender. And it was basically an animated show of people who could either bend air, water, earth, or fire. And it also included people who couldn't bend at all, aka non-benders. So even though people obviously can't bend that stuff in real life, situations like this would actually come in handy for that, because there actually was an episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender where there was a meteor shower and one of them crashed into the earth it was such a huge explosion that the ground actually caught on fire. And it was spreading really badly. So what happened was Aang, who bended air, and Katara, who bended water, and Toph was bending earth, they were able to put out the fire. Now, obviously, if there was a firebender there, which there wasn't at the time, they could actually break up the fire. So, I mean, it's times like that when I really wish we had those abilities in real life, but at the same time, though, I can unfortunately see either crazy people or evil people use it in a bad way. But you could basically say that about anything these days. But yeah, it was just a little something that popped into my head when I heard about these fires, I hope, because I've never been to California and I don't know exactly what the laws are, but I'm hoping that when people are in California, they either have earthquake insurance, wildfire insurance, or, did I say earthquake? Yeah, I'm sorry. My mind is like in so many places at once. Earthquake, wildfire, hurricane insurance, and I heard that they also deal with mudslides. Like, oh my gosh, I can only imagine how much insurance is there. But yeah, I mean, it's really heartbreaking when some people are saying that if the rich people are losing everything, then it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity or the average Joe, So, I think people need to show more empathy. So, to close this episode, I do want to give a great shout out to someone who I follow on YouTube who has been covering the wildfires. She's a really great person and she lives in LA herself. And yeah, I just want to let you guys know about her because, I don't think there's anything that I've disagreed with her on so far. I've been following her for a couple of months now. So I don't want to accidentally mispronounce her name. So I will show you the name of her channel in this video. Just give me 1 sec. Okay, so here's her channel. I absolutely love her content. And she uploads a video pretty much every day. In today's episode, she was talking about the fires. And in that one, she's talking about Facebook. Yeah. And she also talks about politics. She and I agree with what she says regarding that stuff too. So, yeah, I think her channel is very interesting. And she also said that in some of her videos, she was going to provide resources for people in LA who are struggling. So please feel free to check out her channel. And yeah, hoping all this will end soon. So to everyone in LA, I hope you're okay, and I really hope that things will improve. All right, I love you guys, and I will see you in the comments.